Et salut tout le monde, c'est Fareydj et les amis, bienvenue dans ce nouvel épisode de Tales of Vesperia où, souvenez-vous, aujourd'hui nous avons eu le droit à... Enfin, dans l'épisode précédent à... tan 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 tan. Baoul a évolué en Telexea Baoul. Et donc nous allons devoir retrouver Phaero aujourd'hui, mais avant on va parler à tout le monde. C'est le noyau du Ceres Blastia que Judith a détruit? Oui, sa formule est très différente de celle d'un noyau ordinaire. On dirait qu'elle a dit la vérité. Elle a dit qu'elle n'était pas très douée pour le mensonge. Découvrir que la nouvelle technique qu'on a créée après des années de travaux est mauvaise pour la planète. Je n'ose pas imaginer ce qu'a pu ressentir l'inventeur de la technique AIMEZ. Et si ça avait été toi? Si j'avais découvert que cela nuisait à la planète, j'aurais fait quelque chose. Mais je n'aurais pas détruit les Blastia comme ça. Qu'est-ce que... Rien. Ah. Si seulement les choses n'étaient pas si compliquées. Je l'aurais mise en miettes et on aurait pu... et on n'en aurait plus parlé. Ça c'est bien de la Rita tout craché, hein. Alors Repeat, comment elle va? Merci, Wouf. De rien, Wouf. Ok. Oh, Yuri. Désolé de te déranger en pleine réflexion. Depuis que j'ai involontairement ôté la vie à BLEU, je veux savoir ce que signifie être l'enfant de la pleine lune afin que ça ne se reproduise pas. J'ai toujours pensé qu'il était de mon devoir de savoir. Mais après ce qui est arrivé à BLEU, c'est comme ça pour tout le monde. On fait des choses, on apprend, on fait autre chose, on apprend davantage. C'est vrai, hein, on apprend de ses erreurs. Toi aussi, Yuri? Ouais. Peut-être que si j'avais été au courant, je n'aurais pas fait d'erreur. Je ne suis certain que d'une seule chose. Laquelle? Tu n'aurais peut-être fait aucune erreur, mais tu serais sacrément ennuyé. Je me demande vraiment si... Alors, Captain... Ah non, on ne doit plus l'appeler Captain maintenant. Carole. Tu penses à Judy? Oui, je me demande ce qu'on va faire d'elle. Il est vrai qu'elle a violé les règles de la guilde et qu'elle nous a trahis. J'ai toujours pensé que la stricte observation des règles était ce qui assurait la survie d'une guilde. Qu'il ne pouvait y avoir aucune exception. Aucune indulgence envers ceux qui ne la respectaient pas. Mais... elle a agi ainsi pour sauver le monde. Si Judith détruit des Blastia, c'est parce qu'elle sait qu'il le faut, même si les gens la haïssent pour ça. Ouais. Judith n'a pas violé nos règles pour faire quelque chose de mal. Je le sais maintenant. Je vais en discuter avec elle et y réfléchir. Je trouverai bien une solution. Ah bon? Peut-être que si je parviens à prendre des décisions tranchées, Nan m'écoutera elle aussi. C'est vrai. C'est un bon pas pour avancer. Un vieillard ayant passé son heure de gloire a-t-il sa place dans le paysage? Qu'est-ce que tu racontes, le vieux? Pardon. Pourquoi as-tu passé ton heure de gloire? Ce dont Judith a parlé, les AIMEZ Blastia, c'est ça? Des Blastia utilisant des techniques qui auraient dû disparaître pendant la guerre sont encore en service. Tu sais ce que ça veut dire? J'imagine qu'un survivant de la guerre a récupéré ses Blastia ou mis la main sur ces techniques. Si cette personne continue à utiliser ces Blastia en sachant qu'ils sont néfastes à la planète, elle doit être l'incarnation du mal. Vieillard, ne me dis pas que tu... Et ton serviteur n'était qu'un innocent marchand sur l'étroit sentier de la justice à l'époque. Même à ses pires moments, je ne songeais jamais à faire une telle chose pareille. Et j'essayais simplement de t'amener à te démasquer, t'es pas facile à cerner. Hein. Petit fumier, quand vas-tu apprendre à respecter tes aînés? Alors, je suis vraiment content que cette chose puisse voler. En plus, il y a un pilote automatique. C'est du gâteau. Bah oui, t'as rien à faire là. Pour le coup, tu dois même t'ennuyer à la longue. Bon, on va retourner voir Judith. Elle est profondément endormie. Laisse-la dormir un peu.
Morning, Yuri. Morning.
It's a beautiful morning, but even as we stand here, the air is out of balance. And our world may already be dying.
That's right.
Well, look who's feeling better.
In the past, these slight fluctuations of the air have not negatively affected our world. There have always been beings who maintain the balance by sensing changes in the airflow. Beings like Phareydj and BLEU, the Entelecheia.
So the Entelecheia were responsible for keeping the air balanced.
For ages, the Entelecheia have regulated the air. But the recent increase has been greater than they could control.
Which is being caused by the Hermes Blastia.
And which is also why you were going around taking down as many of them as you could.
Yes, that was my mission. The path I walk with BLEU, to whom I owe my life.
The path you walk.
Now some would even hunt the Entelecheia for apatheia. This has made the mission of the Entelecheia even more difficult.
Why is everybody so crazy about these apatheia anyway?
I'm afraid I don't have an answer. The air an Entelecheia absorbs becomes condensed within its body over time. When its life is at an end, that condensed air forms a crystal, an apatheia. That's all I know. I imagine Phareydj could shed more light on the subject, though.
So apatheia are crystals of concentrated air. If that's true and the energy could be extracted from the apatheia, it would be a source of overwhelming power, I'm sure. Could we really... I don't know.
I bet somebody wants to use these things for the wrong reasons.
Why didn't you just tell us all this from the beginning?
Seriously, we could have avoided all this trouble if you just talked to us. Am I wrong?
Even if you had known, there are things not even you could have prevented.
What do you mean?
I showed up at Heliord because BLEU had sensed a disturbance in the air. Where there was a disturbance, there was sure to be a Hermes Blastia. But what I found there was not a Blastia, it was a person. That had never happened before.
So it wasn't like you were looking for Estelle in particular back at Heliord.
Yet for some reason, BLEU perceived Estelle as a disturbance in the air. I had to find out why. For the sake of the path I've chosen. It was at that time that Phareydj first appeared. He seemed to have some idea who Estelle was. My mission was to destroy all the Hermes Blastia. However, Estelle was obviously not a Blastia. I needed to make absolutely certain. I made a deal with Phareydj, and he agreed to grant me some time.
You mean...
If it became apparent that her existence posed too great a threat, then I would kill her.
You what?
Settle down. Obviously, Judith reached a different conclusion.
All right, I get it.
Belius said you possess a heart of compassion. If you can communicate that to Phareydj somehow, you may learn what you should do.
Hey, there's no real reason for you to fight Phareydj anymore, right? I mean, we know the Hermes Blastia are what's causing the problem and everything. If we just make sure the apatheia don't fall into the wrong hands...
I still want to meet Phareydj. I want to hear what he has to tell me.
But...
Please try to understand. I have to know more about myself and take responsibility for who I am.
All right.
Là, quand même, ça commence à aller beaucoup plus loin que la petite querelle pour la succession sur le trône de l'Empire, etc. Hein, mine de rien.
I don't think we can decide what to do about Judith right away.
I promise not to leave again until things have been settled, as you said. I need to accept that responsibility myself.
Let's go and find Phareydj. We'll finally be getting around to one of the first things we set out to do. We can work out the rest once this is finished.
There is a rocky crag in the center of the sands of Kogor. That is where Phareydj lives.
Ah, c'est ça, c'est le rocher qu'on avait vu l'autre jour quand on avait traversé.
This meeting's been a long time coming.
Bon, bah écoutez, on va y aller, hein.
but there are still a few things you should know.
Like what?
BLEU can only land on the ground in wide, open spaces. So you won't be able to dismount on steep mountain ranges or in narrow canyons.
Can't he land on water?
Water's no good either.
Really? He looks like he'd be a good swimmer.
Yeah, he'd sink like a rock.
Huh. Who knew?
That's why we have a ship, right?
Right. If you'd like to get down onto the ocean, let me know. BLEU will set our ship down there for us.
Okay, but what should we do when we want to fly again?
Use BLEU's horn to call him to you.
Vowels. That's all there is to it?
Every Intellicaea has a special region in its brain that can be used for communication with a special power Chrétiens possess.
Huh. So we can get a hold of him by using that.
Right.
Les chrétiens sont une race très mystérieuse, n'empêche. Hein. On en a vu que Judith en fait, hein, pour l'instant. Hein. Mais ils sont une race très mystérieuse.
Judith, you're familiar with Phaero, aren't you?
Is he really as scary as he seems?
Well, let's see. Sometimes he's logical, sometimes he's emotional. He can be really scary or really kind.
All right, that didn't help very much.
One thing's certain, his power's extraordinary, even among the Intellicaea.
Here's hoping we don't wind up looking like poor old Mount Temsa the moment we meet him.
If he can do that to a mountain, there wouldn't be anything left if he turned on us.
I wish you wouldn't joke about scary things like that.
Why should we get scared before we even get there? Especially if he's that strong.
Wish I could take it as lightly as you and Yuri.
Bon ben voilà, donc à partir de là, maintenant, nous pouvons aller où nous voulons, quand nous voulons, comme nous voulons. Mais, pour débuter, nous allons nous rendre... Excusez-moi, nous allons nous rendre chez Phareydj. Il y a juste un truc qui me turlupine, c'est qu'à un moment, quand on était passé en bateau, on avait vu... Alors attendez, je sais plus où c'était. Ouais, c'était par là peut-être. C'est quoi ça? Attendez, là il y a la grotte qui permet d'aller dans les sables de... Ouais. Et ça, j'avais vu une espèce de construction. D'ailleurs c'est quoi ça? C'est la zone où on a été, cette zone brumeuse là? Non, là c'est trop loin. Il m'a semblé apercevoir, ou alors c'était juste un rocher qui avait une forme bizarre par rapport à la luminosité. Mais apercevoir comme une espèce de construction, mais non, j'ai dû rêver. Non, j'ai dû rêver. J'ai dû rêver. Ça devait être un effet d'optique dû à la luminosité. Ok, bon bah alors... Donc le désert... Et le rocher escarpé, il est là. Allons-y. Alors c'est ici qu'on va trouver Phareydj? Normalement, je ne l'ai pas vu lorsque nous sommes venus dans le désert, mais je crois qu'on le rencontrera ici. J'espère que tout se passera bien. Et s'il nous attaquait sans prévenir? Je ne peux rien garantir, mais je ne crois pas que nous aurons notre mot à dire. Carole, ça va? Non, ça ne va pas. Je ferais mieux de partir. On peut dire que Phareydj a choisi d'habiter dans un endroit désolé, vous ne trouvez pas? On dit que cette région était autrefois verdoyante. Comment est-elle devenue un désert rocheux? Ça, je l'ignore. Estelle, tu vas vraiment le rencontrer? Même si tu risques d'y laisser ta vie? Oui, j'ai accepté cette éventualité. Rita, tu as agi un peu bizarrement depuis que tu as entendu l'histoire de Judy sur le bateau. Ça te pose un problème de rencontrer Phareydj? Je pense simplement qu'entendre ce qu'il a à dire va être douloureux pour elle. Mais il est trop tard pour faire demi-tour maintenant. Nous sommes là après tout. Alors allons-y. Allons voir ce que Phareydj nous veut.
Imagine you'd be able to speak with the Intellicaea.
Well, I use a Chrétien technique to do it. Wait, do I detect a little jealousy?
Maybe. Right, Rapide?
Yuri, you want to talk to Rapide?
I think the two of you understand each other well enough already.
I got him pretty well figured out, but I don't know if he understands me.
I think he feels the same way.
Je voulais juste vérifier un truc au niveau des armes. Ouais, toi, après il faut que je t'en mette ça, mais toi c'est bon. Et toi, ouais putain, elle en a deux à mettre après, ça va être assez pénible ça. Ou à la limite juste... Ouais non en fait si, il va falloir lui mettre. Au niveau de l'équipement c'est bon. Toi, après tu as ça. Et ça. Toi c'est bon. Toi c'est bon. Ok, allez on y va. Alors il faut savoir, j'ai oublié de vous le dire ça, mais... J'ai dû vous le dire peut-être dans le premier épisode. Il existe deux versions de Tales of Vesperia. La version PlayStation, sortie uniquement au Japon, et la version Xbox, qui elle a été exportée. Et en fait, il faut savoir que la version Xbox à laquelle je joue, elle fait office, d'après ce que j'ai pu lire, de version bêta pour la version PS3. C'est-à-dire que le jeu a été tellement modifié dans la version PS3 que ici, ça ferait... Ce jeu-là, qui déjà, moi je trouve, il est déjà très complet, bien fini, etc. Hein, et bien apparemment, il ferait office de version bêta. J'aimerais bien un jour avoir l'occasion de jouer à cette version PS3, mais comme elle est qu'en japonais, c'est un peu compliqué. Mais par exemple, pour vous donner une idée, dans la version PS3, Flynn est un membre du groupe. Donc par exemple ici, par rapport au scénario, on en vient à se demander mais comment c'est possible qu'il soit un membre du groupe, sachant que lui, il travaille pour les chevaliers, qu'il a ses propres occupations et tout. Donc on en vient à se dire qu'il y a des modifications dans le scénario à ce niveau-là. Vous voyez, il y a apparemment plein de trucs. Il y a notamment beaucoup de rajouts, des donjons optionnels, des trucs comme ça qu'il n'y a pas dans cette version-là. Mais bon, voilà. C'était pour la petite anecdote. Donc...
Well, he doesn't seem to be here. Maybe he's off somewhere taking a nap.
Phaero, you are here, aren't you?
Insipid poison, you appear before me at last.
So you are here. Is that how you greet all your guests, Phaero?
For what reason have you come to me? Surely you are aware that I could end your existence with a mere thought.
You talk pretty big, don't you? Well, if you really want to fight, I'd hate to disappoint you.
Yuri, no! Everyone, please wait! Estelle! Phaero, please hear what I have to say.
Does death hold no fear for you, little one? For you gaze now into the mouth of death itself.
I am afraid, but I'm even more afraid of dying without knowing who I really am. Belius told me I needed to meet you to learn about my destiny. I have to know just what that destiny is. I understand that I am a threat to the Entelikeia, but you said that I am a poison to this world. What is this power I have? Just who is the child of the full moon? If it is true that my existence cannot be tolerated, then it's okay if I have to die. But I at least deserve to know why it is I have to die. Please tell me, I beg of you.
There was a time when this was a verdant land, sheltered by the blessing of an air crene.
So there was an air crene here. But what happened? Why did it change?
What you see are the results of too much air and its aftermath. As to why the air ran rampant, the answer lies with the poison brought by the child of the full moon.
Huh?
The power of the child of the full moon stimulates the air crene more than any blastia.
Huh?
Blastia convert air into energy by way of a formula. So if Estelle can use her healing arts without the aid of any blastia, she must possess a formula in her very being that lets her convert air into energy. Judith was searching for blastia that used a particular kind of formula. So, this special formula Estelle has must also consume massive amounts of air. which causes the air cranae to become more active and pump out more air than they should. I had hoped my hypothesis would have been wrong.
Then
It is as she has said. With each use of her power, the child of the full moon uses far more air than the Blastia. In so doing, the imbalance of air in this world is furthered. For the planet, such an existence can only be called a poison.
So you just wipe it out then? Little quick to judge, aren't you, Phaero?
This problem concerns the entire planet, and she is its cause. To do nothing would be unparalleled folly.
If the problem's with Estelle, then it's for us to solve. You have no place in our affairs.
The gravity of this situation is beyond your grasp.
You don't honestly think that everything's gonna be all sunshine and rainbows if Estelle dies, do you?
It would at least eliminate one problem.
Phaero, at Heliord I stopped myself. And again at Dawngrest I stopped you. What I thought was a Blastia turned out to be a human. Before I realized it, I had lost my way. I never thought this child could be as great a danger as you had said.
And due to your confusion, I granted you the time necessary to see things as they are. As a result, my sister Belius is now lost to me. Enough. This power will bring only ruin.
Not sure I understand all this, but if her power's the problem, why can't she just not use it?
There can be no guarantee she will not try to use the power.
That's true. She does have trouble turning a blind eye to things happening around her. Someday she will surely use her power to help someone. However, as long as she keeps that spirit of compassion, she cannot only be seen as harmful. She is not like a Blastia. I know that you can feel the difference.
Compassion alone will not save this world.
Listen, Phaero, I get that you've thought all this through with everybody's best interest in mind, but why doesn't that world have a place for Estelle?
It is sometimes necessary to remove a part to save the whole.
I don't buy that for a second. What makes you so high and mighty that you're the one to decide who gets cut and who doesn't?
We have endured the anxiety of existence for far greater a span than you can conceive. Such words mean nothing from those who call this world home for but a fleeting moment.
Phaero, please, listen. The important thing is finding a way to stop the excessive air, correct? We still have time left to search for such a thing.
Judith.
And if the effects of Estelle's power reach their absolute limit, I will kill her as promised. You should have no complaint with this.
Hey, Judith, are you serious?
I'm sure brave Vesperia will come up with something before that happens, right?
What? Yeah, of course we will.
Score one for Judith, so that settles it. If we humans are to blame for Estelle's problem and bringing on the apocalypse, then it's up to us to make things right. If we give it all we've got and still blow it, you can slow roast us on a grill for all I care.
You have changed. If you were still as before.
Have I? That is nice to hear.
Very well. Be ever mindful, though, that time is fleeting.
Wait! If the formulas are causing the excessive air, then there must have been times when this happened in the past. I mean, the Blastia were a product of an ancient civilization.
There exist those who have inherited the sins of the past. If any can speak of what occurred in the days of old, it is they.
Les chrétiens, j'imagine.
He's gone.
Thanks for everything, Yuri. Judith, you too.
No problem. But hey.
What?
It's okay if I have to die? What the hell was that?
I'm sorry.
I don't want to hear that again.
I'm sorry.
Man, I was really worried there for a while.
We were pretty lucky that bruiser was in a mood for conversation. Poor Raven's heart can't handle that sort of stuff anymore.
If he really wanted to kill Estelle, he'd have attacked us immediately. And that's what I can't figure out.
I imagine Phaero was conflicted as well. He hid himself from us in the desert to see just what we were made of.
Huh. Maybe he wasn't as bad as we thought after all.
You might be right. I get the feeling he'd do whatever's necessary when push comes to shove.
That sounds like you.
Maybe.
But what are we gonna do, Yuri? You heard what he said.
We're going to fix the problems the air's causing.
That's easier said than done. We're pretty much at square one, you know.
There's no doubt that the formulas are related somehow to the air getting used up. We need to find out about the ancient Blastia, and if they went berserk or not. If we had that kind of information, it might give us a clue.
Ask those who have inherited the sins of the past about the days of old. Or at least that's what Phaero said.
The Critia were the ones to invent the Blastia. In other words, we need to ask a Critian who is still familiar with the old stories.
Yeah, the Critia are often credited as the inventors of the Blastia.
There isn't much left of the Critian city of Timza, though. Things might be different if we had somewhere else to look.
The hidden city of Miorzo. It is far older than Timza, and the birthplace of the Critia. The first Blastia also originated there.
Really? Well, what do you know? You wouldn't happen to know where this Miorzo might be, would you, darling?
I've heard that name somewhere. There was a Critian in Ospio. I'm sure they mentioned something about it.
Do you think that person might still be there?
Well, there's no harm in checking it out.
Judith, are you coming with us?
I should. We still have the issue of the guild to straighten out.
So, to Ospio then.
Très bien, direction Aspio. Ça va faire longtemps qu'on n'a pas été là-bas, hein, mine de rien.
Hey! What's with making me do all the cooking?
Ah, perhaps you've gotten better and you finally came to enjoy cooking.
No way! Cooking is a pain, and it's a waste of time, too. The point of eating is to restore your energy, right? Just eat some bread or a banana or something.
What, you want us to just eat the ingredients raw?
I remember Rita serving a sandwich that was just 2 pieces of bread with a raw egg in between.
A raw egg? How original!
Hey, don't get any ideas now.
Make me cook again, and I'll put it in the food.
What in the food?
Something I've been saving for a special occasion.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
Judith, don't encourage her!
Don't you dare make me cook next time.
Oh, and I wanted to try what Rita was saving for a special occasion.
Estelle, I don't think you do.
Bon bah très bien, on en sait un peu plus sur... Enfin, on en sait un peu plus en fait. Pas tant que ça, parce que on sait pourquoi les Entelekia détestent l'enfant de la pleine lune, mais on sait toujours pas quelle est la destinée d'Estelle, pourquoi un être avec de tels pouvoirs existe. On ne le sait toujours pas. Donc peut-être on en apprendra plus en allant voir les chrétiens. Mais ça, on le saura dans le prochain épisode. J'espère en tout cas que cet épisode vous aura plu, la rencontre avec Phaero vous aura plu. Donc pour l'instant, ce qu'on va faire, c'est qu'on va suivre encore un petit peu l'histoire principale. Et puis après, on ira se balader. Voilà, je vous invite à laisser un petit pouce bleu. Et moi, je vous dis salut tout le monde!